Welcome students to your first chapter of ninth standard English. The first chapter is a poem written by Charlotte Bronte. So to give you in a brief what the poem says is that in life you will face many problems, but that does not mean that you give up and lose hope. The poem is trying to tell you that there are times when it may seem that you're helpless, you can't do anything and there is no hope, but all after every rain there is a bright and sunny day. So be patient and wait for that moment in your life. So this poem is written by Charlotte Bronte, who is a very well-known writer of the 19th century. She has written many books and poems which are very well known. One of her famous works is Jane Eyre, the classic novel. Now, moving on to the poem, as I will explain you each and every line of the poem, if you come at a point where you do not understand a word, underline the word, and if I give you the meaning of that word, write the meaning of it in your textbooks above that word, so that the next time that you read the poem, you are better able to understand the meaning of the poem. Okay, so let's start. Life, believe, is not a dream so dark as sages say. Here the poet is trying to say that sages are people. So the poet is trying to say that life is not a dark dream meaning a scary dream or a nightmare, as people often say. And why does she say that? Why does she say that? She gives further examples. So moving on, oft a little morning rain foretells a pleasant day. Oft means often. Often a little morning rain foretells, as in fore means before and tells is what you tell somebody. So a little morning rain tells you that the day is going to be pleasant here on. Now the poet has used a metaphor here where the poet is comparing morning rain to problems that might be there in your life at this moment. So what the poet is trying to tell you is that if there are problems right now, further moving ahead, your day or your days will be pleasant. Then secondly, she says that sometimes there are clouds of gloom meaning sadness. Even this is a metaphor. So the poet is saying sometimes there are clouds of gloom, but these are transient meaning temporary. The poet says that there may be clouds of gloom are, there may be sadness, there may be problems in life, but they are temporary. They're only here for a short period of time and they won't last long. Then moving ahead, the third example that she gives is, if shower will make the roses bloom, oh why lament its fall. So here lament means complain. So after every shower we are able to see the roses bloom. So if the shower, which is a metaphor for problems, is going to make the roses bloom, that is, we are going to see something beautiful in life, then why should we complain about the problems or the shower? Okay, so moving ahead, the poet says, rapidly, merrily, life's sunny hours flit by, gratefully, cheerily enjoy them as they fly. Flit meaning passes by. So the poet is saying that the sunny hours meaning good times in your life, happy moments will pass by rapidly and merrily, quickly and happily. So when they are passing by, be grateful, be thankful, and cheerily, excitedly enjoy them as they fly. During those happy times, do not think about the future, what problems are you going to face in the future. Just enjoy the present happy moment that the life has given you. Okay, so moving on to the third stanza, the poet says that what though death at times steps in and calls our best away, meaning So what if death sometimes comes by and takes away the best person in your life? What though sorrow seems to win over hope a heavy sway? Meaning, so what if the sorrow seems to win? Sorrow meaning the sadness or the problems in your life seems to win over the hope that you have and starts controlling it. Sway meaning control and influence. So what if it starts to control? Yet hope again elastic springs, unconquered though she fell. So the poet is saying that, so what if the sorrow seems to win? Hope is elastic. Elastic meaning even if you stretch the elastic, it comes back to its original place. So the poet is saying that even if she falls, your hope is going to spring back like an elastic. Unconquered meaning undefeated. Undefeated though she fell, she is going to spring back as if she was never defeated, even though she had just fallen. Still buoyant are her golden wings, still strong to bear us well. Buoyant meaning to bounce upwards. She meaning the hope, your hope. Your hope is buoyant and her wings are golden and they're strong enough to bear us well, meaning to bear the future problems as they come by. And she is going to bounce back upwards. Manfully, fearlessly, the day of trial bear, for gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair. So she means that manfully meaning bravely and fearlessly on the day of trial, meaning on the day of judgment. The day of judgment is the day when we say that the day when everybody dies and बोलते ना उनका हिसाब होगा. So that is the day of judgment. For gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair. Courage meaning end. So the poet is saying that your hope is going to fight manfully, meaning bravely and fearlessly, and bear you till the day of judgment. For gloriously, victoriously, can courage quell despair, meaning can your courage end your despair. Despair meaning your unhappiness, your sadness, your problems. So your hope is going to end, quell meaning end your unhappiness. So I hope that the meaning of the poem is clear. So you must be wondering why study these poems, what is the meaning behind it. But now that we've read and understood the poem, don't you think it is quite relatable? I mean, to the current situation due to the COVID-19, we're all in a lockdown period. We're all facing so many problems, from physical health, mental health, unemployment, financial issues, etc. And it's also in some cases losing your loved ones, etc. So aren't these the problems? Aren't these days are our gloomy days? But this does not mean that we that we give up, and that does not mean that we're stopping there. We're still studying, although online, but we're still going through our schools, colleges, and our day-to-day life, except for going out. So isn't it exactly what the poem is trying to tell us? That these gloomy days will surely pass, and once these passes, I'm sure the days that will come are going to be more pleasant and healthy. So moving on, we will look at the figures of speech that have been used in the poem. What is figures of speech? Figures of speech are the tools that are used to make the English writing or poem more interesting. So one of the figures of speech that the poet has used is personification, which means representing a non-living or abstract thing in the form of a person. Which means that you give an abstract idea or a non-living thing the form of a person, that is the values that a person has, you give those values to a non-living thing. Now for example, and it is also a line that has been used by the poet in the poem, that is, what though death at times steps in. Now death does not step in. Steps in meaning to come inside. We say that she stepped into the house. That is how we say that to a person. but here we are applying it to death. We are saying that death steps in, death which is an abstract idea. So what we are doing is we are personifying death, that is we are giving death a value that is that the people have, that persons have. Okay, so moving on, metaphor. Metaphor means direct comparison of two different ideas or things without the use of words as and like. Here we make direct comparisons. Metaphor means we compare two ideas, abstractly. For example, sometimes there are clouds. Sometimes there are clouds. Here in the poem, what we mean by this is that sometimes there are problems. So what we are doing is we are comparing problems to clouds. Okay, so this is known as metaphor. Metaphor is where we compare two different things. Here we are comparing clouds and problems, and metaphor has been used many times in the poem. If you go back and read the poem, you will be able to recognize what are metaphors. Okay, then come next is euphemism. Euphemism is polite indirect in phrases or words used to describe something harsh and impolite, which is, and so if for example sometimes we do not directly say some things to people because they might get hurt because of our words, so we try to rephrase them and use some sentences or phrases which are not so harsh, which may not because of which the person might not feel bad. We use such lines. So for example, in order to tell somebody that their relative has passed away, we do not say that they're dead. We say that he is resting peacefully, or that he has moved to a better place. We use statements like this so that the other person does not feel bad or does not, and generally it is used when there is a bad news. So we kind of try to make that bad news bearable. We do not make it very harsh for the other person to hear. So now moving on, your homework is that you have to answer these 5 questions which are there on the right side of the poem. You have to answer those questions and you have to solve the English workshop that is given below. So the first question from the workshop is that you have to find 4 lines, 2 optimistic lines and 2 pessimistic lines. Optimistic meaning positive. You have to find lines that reflect positive ideas or attitudes and 2 lines that reflect negative attitude. And this you have to do it from the poem. You have to find words from the poem. Now next is give other ly adverbs of similar meaning for the following. You're given some words: rapidly, merrily, gratefully. They're all already adverbs, but you have to write another adverb similar meaning, which has the similar meaning but a different word. So for example, for rapidly you can write quickly. Rapidly meaning quickly. Merrily is happily. Okay, next is question number 3. Question number 3, pick out 3 examples of interrogation, rhetorical questions from the poem. Now what are rhetorical questions? Rhetorical questions are questions that do not have any answer. You do not really have to reply. So it is like, for example, at home if you do something and your mama is mad at you, so and she tells you कि कुछ काम नहीं आता, कुछ अच्छे से कर सकते हो कि नहीं. So those are the kinds of question जिसके जवाब हम नहीं देते. We just be quiet and we listen to that. We do not have to answer those questions. So those kinds of questions are rhetorical questions जहाँ हमें आंसर नहीं देना होता है, वो बस क्वेश्चन होते हैं. And इसका एक example, if you look into the poem, the very last line, that is, can courage quell despair? And there is a question mark. Okay? So obviously yes, courage can end despair, but it is a rhetorical question जिसका हम आंसर नहीं देंगे. So you have to find out 3 such questions, 3 such lines from the poem which are interrogative, जिनमें question mark है. Now the B section says that explain the metaphor in the following lines. So they have already given you the lines. You just have to identify what is the metaphor, meaning what the poet is comparing. So the first line is, often a little morning rain foretells a present day. So here morning rain को हम compare कर रहे हैं. We are comparing the morning rain to our problems, little problems in our lives. Foretell a pleasant day. Pleasant day meaning we are comparing it to that little problems in life are will give way to pleasant days and pleasant hours, good days and good hours. Okay, so वैसे ही you have to do it for the second, third and fourth line. You have to explain what is the metaphor, what the poet is using it for. Then the C section is pick out 4 examples of personification. Write what is personified in each. Now here you have to read the poem and you have to find out 4 examples of personification. One is what I've already given you when I explained what is personification. So you have to write those lines and then you also have to mention that what is personified. Like in that example, I have mentioned that death is personified. Death is given the value of a human being. So human feeling. So you have to write the line and you have to mention what is personified as well. Okay. And next D is, and calls are best away is a gentle way of expressing the unpleasant idea of a loved one dying. Okay, so it is an example of euphemism. I already explained what is euphemism. So what you have to do is you have to write such 4 euphemisms that will express the idea of death. This section might be challenging, but at least try to write 2 euphemisms so that I understand that you have understood the meaning of euphemism. Okay, thank you.